Welcome back to day 4 of the 100 horror films in 31 days. Got in 5 more films today, so I'm kind of rolling right now. First up was Yellow Brick Road from 2010, directed by Andy Mitton. It's an interesting film. It's kind of like it's not a found footage, but it's got that feel, like a docudrama feel to it. It's about a town in the 1940s. The entire population of this little town went walking into the woods, and uh, apparently only one person came back. And then you fast forward to modern day, and you've got this group of college kids that decide they're going to go out and retrace the steps and try to figure out what happened. And of course, really bad things happen when you get lost in the woods. I like the concept of it. I think the payoff was not as good as a lot of these just a lot of these docudrama found footage type movies. The build up is better than the payoff. I found that over and over and over. And Yellow Brick Road is really no exception. They come up with a kind of an interesting, intriguing idea, but the follow through and the execution is not quite there. It's not a bad film. I'm not saying it is. I give it a 6 out of 10. Not something I would go back to, but it was a decent one-time watch. Next up was Bedeviled, not Bedeviled, Bedevil, Bedevil, 1993's Bedevil, and this is a an Australian film. It's a female director. I believe her name is Tracy Moffat. Yeah, and it's an It's a horror anthology. Although to label this movie horror would be, I think, pushing it. These are really kind of ghost stories along the lines inspired maybe by a Japanese film, Quaidon, but they're very, very lightweight. They're more like folk horror or folk urban legend type things. The really this kind of washed over me. It was okay. The third story was the best about a couple that they're they were renting. I guess they were renting an apartment, and they're terrorizing the new occupants. They've come back as ghosts. That was pretty good, but overall, I think it's kind of a lightweight entry. It was more about Aborigines' life, to be honest with you, and it turns out that Tracy Moffat is has an Aborigines descent, so kind of makes sense that she would focus her attention on that. It was. I gave it a 4 out of 10. I mean, really, only one of the three stories was anything worth watching. Next up is definitely the watch of the month so far, and it's only been 5 days. Today's the fifth day, obviously, and that is Jacob's Ladder, 1990. I give it a 9 out of 10. This is about a Vietnam vet. Tim Robbins plays this Vietnam vet in really what is a tour de force performance. He's haunted by nightmarish visions. And of course, the overarching question is, are these visions real or is he going insane? You know, the people around him don't know how to react to all this. Fantastic. Just a fantastic movie. I forgot how good this is. I got to get the blue. I actually watched this on Paramount Plus or HBO Max. I can't remember which one, but I mean the bottom line is I've got to get this Blu-ray. This is a fantastic. This is a movie I'll definitely revisit. And what's funny about it is the ending is exactly what I expected it to be, and it was still excellent nonetheless. Great movie, Jacob's Ladder. Mm. Next up, well, today's theme, or yesterday's theme rather, was folk horror. So that's why you got kind of some folk horror stuff in here. Next up was something out of the Severin All the Haunts box set. And I've gone through this. In fact, I think I did a video. It's definitely on my letterbox where I rank all the films. But The pick of the day was Tilbury from 1987. It's an Icelandic film, and it's only an hour long. It's a urban legend about people that feed these tilbury, these little monsters, in order to get, I guess, to get milk to turn to butter. It's kind of a weird folk tale. But the little tilbury is like a little imp or I mean, it looks like a little leprechaun. It was silly. Apparently, it was made for TV in Iceland, and you definitely get the feel of it as a made-for-TV movie. It's not bad. It's just kind of washed over me. I gave it a 6 out of 10. The best movie in this set, I think, is Clear Cut or Witchhammer. Those are the two that I really like the best. Next up is Crowhaven Farm, another kind of folk horror story from 1970, and this is a made-for-TV movie. This woman inherits a farm that has a connection to witches from the 1600s. It's a 75-minute TV thriller. Aaron Spelling was involved in this. Directed by Walter Grauman, who he also did Are You in the House Alone and Lady in a Cage. So he's done some interesting stuff. It's a good movie. Good little witchcraft movie. I liked it a lot. I mean, it's lightweight, nothing major, but I give it a 7 out of 10. Well acted, good story. Let's see. I think that's it, guys. Um, Pretty short, even though it's 5 movies. I mean, two of the movies were an hour, or just right over an hour. So I think Jacob's Ladder was the longest movie at 2 hours. So if you've seen any of these films or have any thoughts on them, please feel free to leave comments in the section below, and I will see you tomorrow.